Now come to the next question, that is genetic material of HIV is, right? We already know all the informations about the HIV, right? The structure of HIV and all these things. So we know that the genetic material of HIV is the single stranded RNA, right? Single stranded RNA. The genetic material of HIV is the single stranded RNA. Now come to the next question. HIV attacks. HIV attacks on what? Helper T cell, killer T cell, memory T cell, B cell, right? So we know that HIV attacks on the helper T cell. We already studied that, right? Come to the next question. AIDS is detected by which kind of test? The Vidal test, Schick's test, ELISA, all is not appropriate, right? Vidal test is used for the typhoid, used in case of the typhoid, right? And typhoid, the causative organism of the typhoid is the Salmonella typhi. It is contaminated food and waterborne bacterial disease, and that Salmonella typhi invades the intestine, right? Actually, it affects the intestine, it invades the intestine, and in severe case of the infection of Salmonella typhi, it perforates the intestine, right? So, due to the internal bleeding, in case of severity of the typhoid, the patient will be die. Clear? So, Salmonella typhi, typhoid have the 5F actually, right? Typhoid have the 5F, that is, it is transmitted by the 5F: flies, food, fingers, fomites. It is transmitted by the 5F, that is flies, food, feces, fingers and the fomites, right? If any normal person comes in contact with the infected person's feces, right, then what will happen? It is transmitted into that person. That's why. And the symptoms are the sustained fever, that is 39 to 40 degrees centigrade. This is the marked line of the NCERT, right? Extreme weakness, abdomen with red rose chest spots, right? And the stomach pain, the constipation, the headache, loss of the appetite, that is the anorexia, right? Intestinal perforation and death may be occur in case of the severity, right? So that's why this is all related with the typhoid. And one more thing is related with the typhoid. Actually, in NCERT, it is mentioned a classical case in medicine, right? That was the Mary Mallon, right? The nickname is the Typhoid Mary. Why it is called Typhoid Mary from the Mary Mallon? Actually, she was a cook by profession, and she cooked the food in a family from last 7 years, right? And she was the carrier of the typhoid. So all the members of that families suffer from the typhoid regularly, right? Simply. So that's why the name of the Mary Mallon is changed and Typhi Mary. Clear? Now come to the Schick's test. Schick's test is for the diphtheria. Schick's test is related with the diphtheria. Schick's test is that Schick's test performed for the diphtheria. Diphtheria, the causative organism of diphtheria is the Corynebacterium diphtheria, right? Corynebacterium diphtheria is the causative organism of the diphtheria. Actually, it is gram-positive non-motile bacillus. Corynebacterium diphtheria is gram-positive non-motile bacillus, and diphtheria is a deadly toxin, right? It is deadly toxin which causes the disease commonly in the children. It chokes the whole paths, right? Causes the suffocation. And that Corynebacterium diphtheria, actually it inhibits the protein synthesis, right? It inhibits the protein synthesis. Clear? So that's why the children are more affected. Why? Because we know that protein is the basic building block material of the body, and children are in growing stage, and if at that time protein synthesis is inhibited, then what will happen? There are number of deformities occurs. Clear? So in that case, that diphtheria is deadly toxin, right? That's why to prevent the diphtheria we use a vaccine, that is DPT. It is used for 3 diseases. First one is the diphtheria, second is the pertussis, which is also known as the whooping cough, T stands for the tetanus, right? So this is the vaccine, right? This is the it is used as a vaccine for in case of the diphtheria and all these, right? So that's why. And one more thing, the main sign is the formation of a pseudo leather like pseudo membrane, right? So it blocks the path of the air, respiratory passage, right, in case of diphtheria. Now that is ELISA is related with the AIDS, so the answer is C. Now come to the next question. AIDS is caused by the transfusion of the contaminated blood, sharing the infected needles, infected mother to the child, right? So it is caused by all the reasons, so the answer is D. Clear? HIV infects which cell of the human body? It infects mainly our soldier cells, that is the RBC. No, macrophagic cells. In fact, that's why these macrophages are also known as the HIV factory, right? Not neutrophil, not platelets. So the answer is Bombay. The major cause of death all over the world by the cancer, the AIDS, both, and influenza. So the major cause of death all over the world is the cancer. After that, AIDS enjoys the next place after the cancer, right? Now come to the next. See here the name of the cancer, right? So what is cancer now? Cancer is one of the most dreaded disease of the human being, right? It is most dreaded disease of the human being and the major cause of the death all over the worldwide, right? Then the other diseases, when we compare it, right? In cancer, there are 2 types of, actually there are formation of some tumors. Normal cells show a property of contact inhibition, right? There are 2 types of the tumors are formed, that is the benign tumor and the malignant tumor. Benign, that is the localized. That means if there is cancerous condition occurs in the liver, and if it is related with only liver, not spread any other organ, then it is called the benign. But when it spreads to the gallbladder, right, the stomach, the pancreas, right? So that condition is called the metastasis, which indicates the malignancy of the tumor, right? Which indicates the malignancy of the tumor. So that is the difference between the benign and the malignant. There are many reasons of the cancer, right? The cancer, the gene which is related with the cancer, they are called the oncogenes. The study of cancer is known as the oncology, right? And the substances which causes the cancer, they are called the oncogenic substances, right? They are known as the oncogenic substances, right? And when the cancer spread from some agents, they are also known as the carcinogenic agents. Maybe it is caused by the some radiations, right? The ionizing radiations, like some carcinogens are the physical, the chemical and the biological agents, right? Ionizing and non-ionizing radiations, clear? So these are the carcinogenic radiations and related with the cancer, right? Come to the question, the tumor which is confined to a certain area, that is called the benign tumor, right? We will know that when it is restricted to some area, that is called benign, and when it spreads in surrounding organs also, then it is called the malignant tumor, and the process of spreading of tumor cell is called the metastasis, right? That condition is known as the metastasis. So answer is A. The property of dash of the tumor cell to the new places is called the metagenics, no. Metamorphosis, no. Metastasis, yes. Metamerism, no. Metamerism, that is related with the segmentation. Metamorphosis, that is the transformation into the adults, right? That is called the metamorphosis. So metastasis is the spreading of the tumor cells, clear? Now come to the next. Neoplastic cells are malignant tumor cells, the benign tumor cells, all of bone marrow, both A and B. So they are the malignant tumor cell, because it by its name suggests neoplastic, that is the new, right? And when the tumor cells spreads, then the new tumor cell is formed here, na? So in benign is localized, right? It is restricted to a particular certain area. It's not spread by the metastasis. So metastasis is seen in the malignant tumor. That's why the neoplastic cells are the malignant tumor, clear? Come to the next. Which one of the following is mismatched pair of the drug and its effects? This is related with the part of drug abuse and alcohol. Amphetamine, CNS stimulants, correct. Lysergic acid, psychedelic, hallucinogenic, correct. Heroin, depressant, slows down the body functions, correct. Barbiturate, CNS stimulants, no. So the answer is the D, clear? It is mismatched. So when we say that the barbiturate is not the CNS stimulant, then what is barbiturate? Actually, that barbiturate is the examples of the sedatives and the tranquilizers. Clear? So that's why it is not CNS stimulant, it is depressant, right? It depresses the CNS, clear? Now come to the next question. During the life cycle of Plasmodium, the sexual reproduction takes place in which one of the following host? That is the female Anopheles mosquito. We will discuss it already. That is asexual cycle occurs in the human, sexual cycle occurs in the female Anopheles, not male, right? So the answer is Bombay. Now come to the question number 33. Select the correct option showing the life cycle of the Plasmodium. As we know that we already studied the malarial cycle, the female Anopheles bite the human, right? And then what will happen? When female anopheles, see that when female anopheles bite the human, what will happen? It infects the liver cells first, right? So in that option it infects the liver cells, so that A is cancelled, B is cancelled, right, and sporozoites liver cells, right? So these are the options, right? Now what? After that, these merozoites is released and it infects the RBC, and then gametocyte is formed here, right? So now the liver cells, RBCs, gametocyte in blood, then blood meal. No. So the correct answer is the Bombay. Clear? First, sporozoites enters in the human body, it infects the liver cell, then it infects the RBCs, then gametocytes in the blood, then blood meal, which is taken by the female anopheles, right, multiply, and then sporozoites again in the stored in the saliva, right? So the correct answer is Bombay. Clear? Come to the next question. Identify the marking A, B, C and D in the figure given below and select the option. Actually, it is the NCERT diagram which is given in page number 151, right? That A is called the antigen binding site. Antigen binding site, right? That D these are called the disulfide bonds. Right? That B is the light chain. And that C is the heavy chain. Right, so now A, B, C, D, that is A antigen binding site is C and D, then B is light chain, B is disulfide bond. No, so the answer is C. Clear? Come to the next question. Read the given statements carefully and which one of the following statements are the correct, right? So innate immunity is a specific type of defense. No, it is non-specific type of defense. It's a specific type of defense that is present at the time of birth. It is non-specific type of defense, right? That's why it is inborn immunity, but it's non-specific, not specific, right? Malignant malaria is caused by the Plasmodium falciparum, correct. Malaria could be confirmed by the Vidal test, no, because it is Vidal test is for the typhoid. Active immunity is slow and takes time to give its full effect response, correct. Saliva in mouth acts as a physiological barrier for the pathogens, correct, right? So the correct answer is the correct statement is 2, 4 and 5. 2, 4 and 5 only in A option. So the correct answer is A. Opioids bind to specific opioid receptors which are present in central nervous system. This is the line of the NCERT, as well as it also present on the GIT tract. That's why when the opioid is taken by the person, right, and if at that time when he take food, he starts taking the food, then he continuously start taking the food for particular time duration, right? So the answer is both B and C. This is the line of NCERT, that's where the answer is that, right? But now the question is, opioids is obtained from the papaver somniferum, right? Heroin, which is commonly called the smack, and chemically it is the diacetyl morphine, right? Chemically it is the diacetyl morphine, clear? And generally it is taken by the snorting and the injections, right? So this is about the opioids. Now come to the next. What is the chemical nature of heroin or smack? Right, it is the, as we just studied that, chemically it is the diacetyl morphine, right? So diacetyl morphine, no. Tetraacetyl, no. Diacetyl cocaine, no. Diacetyl morphine, yes. So the answer is D. Clear? Come to the next question. Morphine is extracted from, morphine is extracted from the latex of Papaver somniferum, and that morphine is used as a painkiller, the best painkiller after the post operative surgery, right? That is the in case of the surgery, that morphine is used because it is the best painkiller, right? So morphine. Then cannabinoids receptors are present principally in cannabinoids. What are these cannabinoids? Cannabinoids are obtained from the plant Cannabis sativa, right? Cannabinoids obtained from plant, that is the Cannabis sativa, right? These cannabinoid receptors are present principally mainly in the brain, right? That means they modify the functioning of the brain. That is the exact line of NCERT, right? And what will happen, its flower tops, leaves, raisins, all these are used to make the different kinds of combinations like the marijuana, hashish, charas, ganja, all these things, right? It affects the cardiovascular system also, right? So that is the Cannabis sativa. All of the following drugs are the cannabinoids, except we know that the marijuana, hashish, ganja are the cannabinoids, but heroin is the opioid, right? So the answer is Bombay, right? Which is called the smack. Chemical, it is diacetyl morphine, right? Now come to the next. Select the incorrect matches. Cocaine, what is cocaine? It is obtained from the erythroxylum coca. What is cocaine? That is obtained from the erythroxylum coca, which affects the neurotransmitter dopamine, right? And we know that neurotransmitter dopamine is very much essential for us to maintain the body posture and all and number of processes, right? Then the morphine is effective sedative and painkiller. Exactly, both are correct. Heroin increases the metabolism in body. No, heroin acts as a depressant. It slows down the body functions actually, right? So this is the incorrect match. So the answer is C, right? Come to the next question. Identify the incorrect statement. Nicotine stimulates the adrenal gland. Correct. It reduces the blood pressure and heart rate. No. It increases the blood pressure and heart rate, right? That's why sometimes the person which are taking the nicotine and all these things, right, they use in tobacco even that nicotine is present, right? And they chew the tobacco and then go for the defecation, right? So just because of it increases the blood pressure, not decreases, right? So smoking increases the concentration of heme bound. No, it decreases, right? Tobacco chewing increases the risk of oral cancer. Correct. So incorrect statement is 2 and 3. So the answer is C. Come to the next. Repeated use of drugs lead to decrease in tolerance level of receptor. No, it increases the tolerance level of the receptor actually. When we use a drug on the regular basis, right, then what will happen? It increases the tolerance level of the receptor. So at a particular time, after a particular time duration, then that drug will not give its effect, right, properly, right? So it increases in tolerance level of effect. No effect on receptor. No. So the answer is Bombay. Come to the next question, that is 44. Intravenous drugs uptake may increase the risk of. Intravenous drugs, that means intravenous, that means when we take the drugs with by the injections, right? And injections, that is AIDS and the hepatitis B, which are the STDs, right? So it's not tuberculosis, it's AIDS and hepatitis. So the answer is D. Clear? Following are the side effects of the use of anabolic steroids by the females except masculination, exactly. Enlargement of the clitoris, yes. Regular menstrual cycle, no. Irregular menstrual cycle, right? And depression, exactly. So the answer is the irregular menstrual cycle. So that is C, right? So in that manner, that chapter is completed. Thank you.